Hello there, what is going on, everybody? We've got ourselves a full spoiler preview of the Bad Batch Operative Expansion for Star Wars Legion. We've got all of the cards, everything is spoiled. We're going to talk about this awesome game. Before we do, quick admin stuff. If you guys haven't already, make sure you enter to win that $25 Amazon gift card. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos and jump in the Discord. We've got awesome Discord conversation going on right now. We also have painting competitions. So links are in the video description below. Let's jump into the Bad Batch preview. So this is the first spoiler card we've already seen. It's a 160 point unit for the Republic. It has 5 heavies. You have to take all of them. Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, Tech, and Crosshair. They have Impervious with that red defense die, which is going to be very, very nice if you try to shoot them with Pierce. It's kind of like almost like Mandalorian armor, although they don't have the surge for anything, really. So not quite as good as Mandalorian armor, but still pretty good. And the fact that they have 2 health each is awesome. Courage value of 3, also very, very awesome. Speed 2, we have 2 dice per for their ranged weapon. At least that's the basic ranged weapon. We do know that there are some with special weapons, and they have a red die for melee. They also have Scale, Steady, and Sharpshooter 1. Scale is okay. Steady is a really good one, though. It lets them move twice and then shoot, or move once and then shoot, and then or aim and then move once and then shoot. Sharpshooter, which also is going to be a very, very good for trying to take people out that are otherwise a little more difficult to get rid of. And they have We're Not Regs, which is actually a bad keyword. They can't do all the clone shenanigans with token sharing, and fire support doesn't work with them. Now, it says the fire support keyword cannot be used on this unit, but this is clarified in the rules reference. I initially had thought, it's like, wait a second, does that mean if you're using Bad Batch and I'm not, and I'm trying to fire support into your unit, I can't use it? But it's only fire support can't be used when they are attacking, so it's clarified in the rules reference. We also got all of the 5 cards spoiled. Don't worry, we're going to zoom in a little bit. They're looking pretty good. So Hunter, we've already seen Hunter. I'll point out all of these characters cost 0. All of them do. We do have that confirmed now, so that 160 is the most you're going to spend. Hunter says, add a Hunter miniature. He's the leader, and he has a free action. Choose a non-operative or commander enemy trooper at range 1 and in line of sight. Roll a black attack die on a hit or crit. They're going to suffer a wound. So he can just put a free damage out there, which is cool. Now it goes onto the unit, though it's not like Force Choke used to be years ago. It's kind of cool also that like the same art is kind of carried over here. You've got Hunter and Wrecker on the same art print, which I kind of like. Wrecker does have 3 health, so he's special. He's got more health than the rest, and I love that about Wrecker. He's probably gonna be the, and it's tricky because like, do I give him the first wound? Because then I have to give all the wounds to him, but he also has the most extra dice. You know, he's got he can do melee or range 1 to 2, which is nice. He's got rainbow dice. And add the Wrecker miniature, and while this miniature is on the battlefield, a friendly Omega cannot be assigned wounds. So he's going to be a little bit more valuable if you're on the Rebel side. Allows Omega to not die. Then you've got Echo, Tech, and Crosshair. Echo doesn't have a special weapon, and Tech doesn't have a special weapon. Crosshair does. We've already seen Crosshair range 1 to 5. When an attack pool contains only this weapon, it gains critical 1, high velocity, Pierce 1, and Precise 1. So very cool. You've got Echo and Tech here. So when Echo is gonna give you guys reliable 3, which is awesome to make up for their lack of surge. 3 is a pretty good amount too. That's super solid. And then Tech gives you cash aim and dodge. So you're gonna gain an aim token and a dodge token on Tech that you can spend whenever. And you also gain Tactical 1, which is really nice because the longer you keep Tech alive, every move you do, you're going to gain a free aim token, which is awesome combined with Steady. And so, like, I feel like Tech probably could be the first miniature to go away. Rip Tech, sorry. But yeah, also great art there where you got like Echo and Tech kind of joined together, whereas Crosshair is kind of by himself. But it's like you kind of, on one hand, you're like, well, Tech, once I spend the cash aim and dodge, then I'm like, I've already got them spent. But then you lose Tactical 1, which just pairs so very nicely with Steady. So it becomes a little bit of a tricky one there. If you're running them in the Republic and you have Crosshair, he might be somebody that you get rid of. Like maybe you're shooting at long range in the first turn, because again with steady, even if you start, you're nowhere near the opponent, you get free shots. You might as well at least take it with Crosshair. So I like that about Crosshair. But then at a certain point, I could see Crosshair possibly being like the one you assign wounds to first. Maybe because really, you're only losing one die if you're using his. I mean, granted, if you get into range 2, you might not want to use his die, or you might want to split fire. I don't know. He's flexible like that. But overall, they seem pretty good. We do have a Rebel version as well, and we finally get to see that Rebel version of the card. If you'll notice, one initial difference is that Crosshair is not here, and I'm like, okay, this was. There's definitely a certain point in time that this is capturing the Bad Batch. This is like, seasons 1 and 2 of the Bad Batch for sure. It's not necessarily season 3 of the Bad Batch, right? Which is okay. It's fine. It leaves room to do other versions of it. But that's still very, very cool. It's still cool to have them. So you've got Equip, Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, and Tech. Now you don't have to take Omega with this, which is very interesting because you have the option to take Omega with this one, although you cannot take Omega with the Republic version. So they are, of course, they're mercs, and you can take them with Rebels only at this point, although it's possible there could be some battle force that also allows them in the future. They are going to have 140, so they're going to be a little cheaper. You've got one less dude in there, right? You don't have Hunter. They still have Impervious, Scale Steady, Sharpshooter 1, and the We're Not Regs keyword. They've still got the 2 dice for melee, a black and a white, no surge, red defense die, 2 health, 3 courage, and speed 2. Ultimately, it's kind of the same thing. You just get a little discount, but you have the option here to turn around and take Omega, the mascot of the 99th. I love it. She's got Counterpart. We've seen this card already. Counterpart, she's going to have to use her weapon. So she can't use the Bad Batch's guns, but she can use her energy bow. So really the only difference is you're going to get 2 white instead of that black and a white. But she is able to claim and sabotage and repair and do all that cool stuff. So she kind of, and this is clarified a little bit in the rules reference where she, and she doesn't have to be assigned wounds first. As a matter of fact, she can't, so that all kind of works together too. That whole ability has a lot to unpack. The really cool part about it is that if you find yourself, trying to shoot stuff and you really don't need to do the claim objective stuff, you can eventually, assign wounds to her after Wrecker's gone. But if you find yourself in a moisture evaporator game or some other, or recover the supplies or something like that, you can have her do the claim objective. She can, do the stuff that normally only the unit leader would be able to do. And being able to do that is really cool. Now, once you do claim them, they will go to the unit leader. She doesn't hold on to them the whole time. But that's some really cool stuff. So that's Omega. We also get a command card. Only one command card comes in this pack, though. That's a thing. It's called We Do What We Do. It's a 3-pip. It's for the Bad Batch. According to the box art, it's the only command card that comes in there. It says this round, while the Bad Batch contains Hunter, they increase their speed by 1, which is awesome. While it contains Tech, they gain Tactical 1. Now, if you're playing this with everybody, that means you're going to have Tactical 2. While it contains Echo, they gain Reliable 1. You're going to have Reliable 4 at this point. While it contains Crosshair, they gain Precise 1. While it has Omega, they have Inspire 1. And while it contains Wrecker, their weapons gain Suppressive, which is really cool if you're going to be doing some split fire. I love this card because it does a little bit of everything, and it's flexible. It's always going to give you something. It's always at least going to give you a +1 speed, which is really cool. And it can help inform your decision on what you want to do. Like, man, really, I might really want to hold on to Tech, and then be able to have Precise 1 too. Oh, this is just, you could reroll everything. You could really manage a really strong hit. This is, potentially as strong as a 1-pip for some characters. You could find yourself getting a really good roll here. I foresee you getting like 7 hits or something a minimum when you do something like this. Plus you have that mobility of the unit having steady, which is really, really cool. So that is our look at the Bad Batch. We'll be doing, we'll be definitely picking this up for Star Wars Legion when it comes out. We'll be doing an unboxing, and we'll be looking at all of that great stuff. We'll be building out the miniatures. You can see them put together. A lot of people will ask, and I'm sure they're going to ask in an unboxing video, and they've been asked already in multiple Bad Batch videos, why do these guys look different than they do in the show? Specifically, when it comes to Wrecker, why does Wrecker look so much more different? I actually really like the likenesses. They try to capture Tamira Morrison's, especially with Hunter there. And the answer to that really is that with Star Wars Legion, the scale of the miniatures is a little bit more with realistic proportions. So that's one of the reasons why you'll notice, like, Wrecker is, while he's big, he's not like the Incredible Hulk. Whereas Star Wars Shatterpoint captures more cartoony proportions. And when you have a cartoon show that never had live action characters, that's the compromise. You end up coming with something that's supposed to be a little bit more realistic, and that's where we get what we have here. So that's why the Bad Batch looks a little different. Specifically, I mean, most of the characters you probably wouldn't notice the difference, but Wrecker is really the one where the difference kind of stands out. So if you're wondering why Wrecker looks different, it's because that's the proportions that they've kind of gone with Legion all along. It usually hasn't been an issue since most of the characters we've already seen them in live action, but here comes, you know, one that we've only seen in cartoon form, and he's also cartoonishly huge. So I think this is the first time where it really stood out that, hey, these guys look a little different. And I think it makes sense. That's in keeping with the traditions of the game and the way that it's kind of always been done. So pretty cool stuff. That's all we've got for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world. You all help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. This is the way, and always wash your socks.